Well, welcome back. I am your host, Cam Silver.
I am your co-host, Kyle Silver.
And welcome back to the Silver Boys Podcast, as your favorite cousins are back in session.
Yes, sir.
Kyle,
Talk to me. What we got going on this week? Talk to me.
like we said, man, it's August, so football is back.
Yes, sir.
The Olympics is crazy right
Kicking.
Crazy right
Most
now.
definitely.
I'm loving every part of it. So let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
So as we know, the Team USA has went 3-0 in their group play. Beating Serbia, beating them down, beating down South Sudan, who they only won by one against in the exhibition, and then beating down Puerto Rico. They met Brazil in the quarterfinals, beat them down, and now they face Serbia in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely gonna be a tough game compared to when they played them in the exhibition.
And group play.
In the group play, excuse me. Yes, in the group play.
Both of those.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be a harder game just because this means more, especially to the Serbians. It's semis. It's the semis.
Right.
A lot more to play for, a lot more at stake. Gold medal at stake here, but to see how they're gonna throw Anthony Davis, how they're gonna throw Bam Adebayo, how they're gonna throw Joel Embiid into the mix against Jokic and try to make him uncomfortable, I think is really important. But the Serbians, they got shooters too. They definitely got shooters on that team.
Yeah.
They got Bojan Bogdanovic too. He's not bad at all. He could shoot that three ball pretty well at a pretty efficient clip. So just really trying to cover your shooters and making sure Jokic doesn't get what he likes to get. Just make the game uncomfortable for him as much as you can.
Right.
Make him inefficient, and they'll be fine. I don't really have any worries here.
Yeah, no worries from my side either. Everything you said was spot on. Just make sure Jokic is uncomfortable. Make sure you get out on the shooters and just run on on your breaks. Run through your sets and things of that nature. Get your backdoor cuts in. Your pick and rolls. And just dominate on the boards like they've been doing with Davis and Joel. Joel's finally started to get his footing now into the play, which is at the perfect time. Bam is very compliment to AD. Kevin Durant coming off the bench, that's the more I think about that, that's like literally the ultimate cheat code.
Yeah.
I literally have the all-time leading USA scorer
coming off the bench.
Which congratulations to him. He just passed Lisa Leslie in the last game, and he's been doing just going out there like he's always been doing. He's a professional bucket getter, and he's just doing that.
And he's not going to get a lot of talk about, he's not going to be talked about as much as some of these guys were in the Olympics, like LeBron, maybe even D-Wade. But there's one thing that you can't say. You can't say that this man isn't a decorated Olympian.
Right.
To be leading USA in scoring, to be leading, you can just to do what he can do on the floor itself.
Right.
Just that in and of itself is you know what I mean? He deserves it. I'm happy for him. He puts in a lot of work, and he's just that guy. Slim Reaper is just that guy.
He's that man.
He just, it was only a matter of time before he did it. And, I'm not surprised at all. But yet, like you said, congrats to KD. Hopefully, he could actually, come out real hot against Serbia.
Right.
Really just put the nail in the coffin by halftime. I'm saying, what I mean?
Yeah. And I think they will. I think they will because they've been going crazy with it. Simone Biles, gymnastics, bro.
Yeah,
the greatest of all time, bro.
Yeah,
ain't nothing else to say about it, bro.
Yeah, man. She is like that. She is absolutely like that. Everybody else's best work is a light pack. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's just she's that girl.
Yeah.
And it ain't really nothing else to say to it. I think it was just a matter of time before we we're okay, what medals is she gonna take home?
Right.
Right. Unfortunate that she was she fell on the beam, and that was unfortunate. But nobody's gonna hold that against her. She's still she still is decorated. She still is the best of all time when it comes to gymnastics.
Right.
So, it was I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
Way to, represent USA and way to go do your thing out there like she always does and will continue to do, And you got other people down the pike, other girls down the pike too.
Yeah,
like, that are coming up.
Suni Lee, Jordan Childs. Yeah, that's a tough squad right there.
Yeah,
that's a
very
tough squad right there. Shout outs to Noah Lyles, bro. That 100 meters, man.
Photo finish,
bro.
Photo finish, bro.
It don't get no closer.
It really don't.
It doesn't get any closer than that.
It don't. That's like Lightning McQueen sticking out his tongue.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that was, yo. Nah, shout out to Noah, because I know he had the entire USA world watching.
Bro.
I was at work watching, like, hey, brother, you better win this.
Yeah.
Because he was talking a lot of smack,
Yeah.
He was. He most definitely was.
He most definitely backed it up, though.
He did. No, he did. And to be able to talk your talk and walk the walk at the same time, that's even more impressive.
Yeah.
To me. That the fact that you were able to, like, you recognize that you needed to go do this, and he did it.
Right.
And he did it.
Right.
Yeah.
The Olympics has just been so much fun to watch. I've enjoyed every second of it, and it's just one of those where it's like, man, I wish it wasn't. It feels short.
It does.
It feels so
with
short.
Paris, it feels short, but I also think because of, like, the time difference.
Yeah.
Like, things like of that nature.
Right.
Like, Sydney McLaughlin, she was running at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Over here. Yeah.
Like, that's tough for, like, her supporters that, like, want to watch her. It's not like it's just like how it used to be, like it was prime time. Like, what I mean? Right. Running track and field was always prime time, like 7 p.m., 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Not 7 a.m.
Not the other prime time.
People ain't even get their coffee yet. Come on, man. I want to watch. I want to sit down and I need to watch her do this. But nah, shout out to Sydney too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sydney too. That girl is just.
She's different.
There's literally no one else like her on that field, on that track and field.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody else like her at all. The photo of her, like, so far ahead of everybody else is just.
It's just
It's like there's nothing that you can do.
Really
there's nothing that you can do.
Yeah, no. It's just all right. Well, who's coming in second?
Oh, Jersey girl, represent.
Yes.
Represent.
Big time.
Yes, sir.
Big time.
Yes, sir.
But we finally come up to that part where. Now we're in the NFL.
Yes, sir. Oh my goodness, I can't wait, Cam. I can't wait. So many interesting stories going on.
Yes.
Like, just so many, like, some people in new places, new teams, like, coming in. It's going to be a good season. I'm excited for these rookies too.
Oh yeah.
I'm really excited for, like, I haven't been this excited for, like, a rookie class in a long time.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah,
and it's not even just because of Caleb Williams either. Obviously, like, he's the number one pick, but, like, you got guys like Rome, you got guys like Marvin Harrison, you got guys like Malik Neighbors, like, Joe Hall, like, those guys, like, like, those are solid dudes that are, coming into the league right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, same. I watched the Chicago Bears on Hard Knocks. Yeah. And I'm very excited to see what Caleb Williams does and Roman Dunze and the rest of that team. That team is stacked.
Just to see, like, everything that they have, like, together. You got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, like, like you said, you got Roman Dunze. Like, that's a three-headed monster right there.
Along with Cole Kmet as your tight end.
Exactly.
So I'm very excited to see what that team does. And then you have a strong defense who got stronger throughout the year last year. Who's only going to be stronger this year. So yeah, high expectations, but really, really interested to see how they all come together.
Yeah, most definitely. I wonder how long it's going to take them to, to see how comfortable Caleb Williams will or will not be. In these first, like, 6 games of the season, 5 games of the season.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see that. But let's get into these divisions. Okay. So we're gonna go to the AFC East.
Okay.
Obviously, more so, it looks like the favorite will be the Jets. You never know, obviously. But this year, they'll finally be healthy with Aaron Rodgers there. They have a great receiving core. Led by, what's his face? Wilson. And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen over there, along with Breece Hall, who's bound to have a breakout year this year. And I think he will, especially behind that, a stronger offensive line. So, yeah, and, obviously, and a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers is always going to put everybody in the places that they need to be. So, Jets team was looking real good, along with the great defense that can be top 5, led by Quentin Williams on the defensive line, C.J. Mosley at linebacker, and Sauce Gardner on the in the cornerback spot. So they got some studs on both sides of the ball, and they're gonna look to make some noise this year.
Yeah, definitely a lot of expectations with Rodgers coming back, hopefully being healthy. Because we don't even really know, I feel like,
Right.
We just keep hearing these reports and like rumors, but until we actually go out there and we see him on the field and his lateral movement, like that, those are things that are going to be really important to the Jets, and like just keeping him healthy,
Just keep him, yeah.
Seeing how that offensive line is going to like do against against a team like a Buffalo, against even like a team like Miami who got a good front, like
even the Patriots,
even the
were pretty
Patriots,
good,
exactly. Patriots always been like a solid, defensive team.
Yep.
And even just everybody else in the AFC that we don't even need to get into right now. But it's definitely going to be, I think it's going to be a tall task for them, genuinely. I hope that they don't beat themselves.
Yeah.
I could see them beating everybody else. I could see them winning that division, but they can't beat themselves in the process of it.
Right.
They can't get in their own way and just things like that. But, you also got Miami too. Like, we talked about Miami last year a lot, about not, beating sub 500 teams versus not winning against over 500 teams. So I think that's really going to be important, like, to them this season. In Buffalo, I have no idea. I'm just going to be so honest. I have no idea.
Yeah, so Buffalo, no Stephon Diggs now. They have Curtis Samuel at wide receiver, along with rookie Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakur, who are, I like Keon Coleman.
I like Keon Coleman.
He's
too,
from
yeah.
Florida State. He had a great year with Jordan Travis as his quarterback, and they did their thing over there. And I really like Curtis Samuel coming in from the Commanders. Really good speed threat that they could work with. Khalil Shakir, he did pretty good work coming in last year, and then along with you have James Cook as your running back, who had a pretty good breakout year. He's that guy.
James Cook is nasty.
Josh Allen, obviously he's not afraid to tuck the ball and run, which is really good, along with a great tight end in Dalton Kincaid. So they have a good team. It's just like you said, it's a question mark because they don't have a bona fide star receiver they have with Stephon Diggs.
But then when they did have one, we saw how far they got.
Right.
Right. So now it's like, now that you don't have them, what are you guys going to do? There's a lot more making up that needs to be done for the absence of Stephon Diggs, I think.
Right.
Like, just on the field, not even talking about off the field, locker room, like not even stuff like that. But just on the field, like the difference in the attention that he was able to bring to him, it's that led other guys to eat too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Josh Allen, I think he just gotta minimize his turnovers.
Yeah.
I think if he just minimizes his turnovers, there's no reason why they couldn't win out that division. You know?
That's the biggest thing with him. It's just minimizing the turnovers and just keeping the ball out of harm's way. And I think that's the reason why he always gets these labels as overrated and things of that nature, which I don't think he's overrated. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league easily. But it just sucks when when your touchdown to turnover ratio is basically the same. So if he cuts down on the turnovers, takes care of the ball more, gets the ball to where it needs to be, and in the hands of his receivers, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be a wild card team, I say the least.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see them getting in. I got faith that they'll get into the playoffs. I do.
Yeah,
I really, really do. I don't think that they'll completely miss the playoffs.
No,
that's just not who Josh Allen and what the Bills are. But getting into those top seeds are going to be hard.
Oh yeah,
in
that's
the AFC. And maybe they could stay in that middle pack, like where Miami has been. Like, that middle pack.
Yeah,
I don't think that they would have a problem beating Miami.
No.
Genuinely speaking,
and that's actually who we're about to get into next. But they showed that they didn't have a problem beating them last season.
Exactly.
Yeah, Miami. Tua got his money, so now is the time to really step up your game.
Yeah,
and they have a great offense led by Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Odell Beckham. That's star-studded right there. You know, it don't really get no better than that. Along with Devon Achane coming, you know, who's their second running back. Like, you have two running backs that are capable of putting up, you know, over 1,000 rushing yards and more than 10 touchdowns on the ground alone. So
that's two number one running backs.
That's two number one running backs, exactly. You
have, like, you know, just tucked away.
Exactly. And then you have Jonnu Smith as your tight end. You know, have a pretty good offensive line with Teron Armstead over there at left tackle. So I really like this offense, a very explosive offense. You know, but it feels like the explosiveness for them only takes them so far. Their explosiveness doesn't carry the way that it carries in, like, a Baltimore would have or a Kansas City would have. They're all, for some unknown reason, that explosiveness, it just doesn't.
It's not consistent over the course of a 17, 18 game season.
It's very good from September to October, a little bit in November, and then after that, I feel like around the time when we get to that Thanksgiving, and it's time to shift, and that light comes on for every other team, it's like they start to get real minimized.
Yeah, you know, albeit too, they've been dealing with some injuries, like you know, over the past couple of years, like Jalen Ramsey being out was big. Like, you know, Tua being out, like, you know, when he was out was big because you see how the impact that he has when he comes back.
Correct.
So, you know, keeping those guys like that, you know, healthy is very, very important. Even Tyreek too. You got to keep Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. And Jalen Waddle.
Waddle's the one.
I'm shaky on Miami, man. I really, really am, and I don't want to be. I really don't want to be because I think that they could be that team.
Yeah,
I really genuinely think that they could contend to Kansas City because of their explosiveness. You know, how do you account for Tyreek? How do you account for Jalen Waddle being on the outside or being in the slot?
Right, along with Odell Beckham. Now.
Exactly, who's just essentially an assassin for hire at this point. Yeah, you know, he's just gonna bring attention. It's not like he's gonna be, you know, have a 1,000-yard, you know, receiving season. He's not going to do that, but he'll get you where you need to be in certain spots. That's the thing too. And I'm sure a guy like Tua is going to love that because he's so accurate. And you know, somebody like Odell is going to go catch the ball when he's healthy and he can actually make a difference in the game. You know, but I don't know, Cam. I don't know, man. This Miami team is, they could either like be up here, or they could be all the way down here. Yeah. And there's just no in between for them.
Their defense is one that you're really gonna want to key in on because of, you know, the absence of Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. You know, like they got guys like Jalen Ramsey, who you pointed out to, Kendall Fuller. They brought in Jordan Poyer from Buffalo, which is good. Calais Campbell's coming in now to beef up that offensive line, especially after losing Christian Wilkins. So I'm that's where most of my eyes are really on right now. It's just really on how will the defense fare, you know, because you don't want to get into, you know, a back and forth battle, mess around and, you know, get into a back and forth battle with one of these teams. Like, who do they have coming up? Like, they, you know, some of these teams are aight that they could get past, but, you know, you don't want to have to go into a back and forth battle with like a Jets. Or like a Buffalo even, you know, like you don't want to have to sit there in those type of battles because, you know, we've seen those type of battles swing. Yeah. You know, either way. So
they got the Texans at one point. That could definitely swing.
That's gonna swing.
They got San Fran after the Packers.
Packers, yep. The Rams,
even the Browns, like their schedule ain't gonna be.
Yeah, no, that last half is it for them is gonna be
because who knows where the Jets are gonna be in that position at the last game of the season. That game could be like
the game of like last year. It could be just like last year.
Exactly.
Where, you know, there's the difference between a 2 and a 5, like a 2 and a 6. You know, that seed.
But that's what I wanted to allude to this again because I mentioned this on like our last episode or like 2 episodes ago. It's very important for Miami to secure home field advantage. Yes. They have to
get the 1 and 2 spot. There's nothing they can't mess around. They have to get that number 1 or that number 2. They cannot mess around.
Now we're asking for a lot because you have teams like Kansas City, Baltimore, Cincinnati, who I'm sure we're about to get into. Like those, I just listed like 4 Texans, like that could easily be fighting for that 1 and 2 spot. Yeah. But that's how important it is though, because for a team like Miami, because you don't want to go to Kansas City and have to play in that cold
again.
again. You don't want to have to go to Buffalo again.
You don't want to have to go into a loud dome with the Texans.
Exactly.
You know, especially after what they just did last year.
Exactly. And I'm quite sure you don't want to go see Aaron Rodgers when the time counts either.
Oh no, you don't want to go up to New York and see them.
No, not at all. Not at all.
New York, regardless, you know, obviously, you know, the atmosphere is a lot better with the Giants, but regardless, you don't want to go to New York in that cold in January.
Not in January.
To see playoff football for the Jets, who haven't been to the playoffs in a while.
So their fan base is going to be rabid already if they do make it to the playoffs.
Exactly.
So, you feel me?
Yeah, no, that's the team right there to have your eyes on in this AFC East. Actually, basically all of them except for the Patriots. We'll get into them in a second, but yeah, basically almost all of them. But the Patriots, I chalked this up to this year. It's just going to be a development year. You know, with Drake May coming in, I do believe that he should start the year, and you should just have him go. Just have him go. You know, there's always been debate whether he should start, whether he not. No. The best teacher's experience.
Yep.
Go on ahead out there, learn, make mistakes, do what you have to do. So then, the biggest thing is you want to see the progression from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. You know what I mean? So from September, okay, he probably had this amount of turnovers, but then in December, you want to be like, oh, okay, turnovers went down.
You start to see the progression.
You start to see
a progression.
The passing yards go up. The touchdowns go up a little bit, you know? But I think what they're going to do is, for the most part, they're going to lean a lot on their running back, Stevenson. I think they're going to lean on him a lot more. Also, they have a young receiving core as well, too. So that's going to be very challenging, but it's going to be great because they all grow together.
Yes.
Along with the defense that we already said, who could be, you know, at their peak, a top 5 defense. And they were basically top 5, I think, like the last half of the season. So like the last, a latter part of the last half of the season, they were like one of the best teams. So one of the best defenses, excuse me. So, you know, the Patriots team, like I said, development year. You know, don't be surprised if, you know, they're not making much noise. What you really want to just see is progression from everybody.
That's it. That's all it's about.
Especially with a new head coach as well.
New head coach. You got a new head coach and a new quarterback. And a young wide receiver core. Like, you got a young team, essentially, all the way around. But coming from a storied franchise to now a young team, you know, that those expectations are going to be up there for somebody like a Drake May, too.
Yeah.
You know? But I agree with you. I don't expect New England to make that much noise. I expect them to give teams fights and, like, you know, be a tough division opponent, most definitely, because of that defense, like you said. But, you know, I don't really see them being a threat, I should say.
Right. Yeah, I can see them pulling out, like, just, like, not pulling out random wins, but, like, more so where it's, like...
Close wins,
or it's, like, you know, they made whatever team that they're facing mess up at the right time for them to capitalize on it, type of thing, so. But, moving on to the AFC North.
Ooh. This one is...
I want to talk about a gauntlet.
This is bad.
Oof.
This is bad.
So, obviously, Baltimore, they re-upped with Derrick Henry. You know, they still got Lamar Jackson, obviously. Still got Nelson Aguilar, Rashard Bateman, Zay Flowers as their wide receivers, who looking pretty good out there. Tight ends and Mark Andrews still there. Isaiah Likely still there. Offensive line, you know, kind of something to worry about, but also not really. You know, they still got Ronnie Staley and guys like that. So I'm not overly, you know, worried about them or anything like that, as long as, you know, as long as they're able just to create running lanes for Derrick Henry and be able to, you know, give enough time for Lamar to do his thing back there. Defensive wise, that is kind of where my eyes are for this team. You know, you don't have your same defensive coordinator no more. A good amount of your squad left. You know, with Patrick Queen going over to Pittsburgh now, so you don't have your 1-2 tandem at linebacker anymore like you used to. And the secondary, I'm not as worried about with Marlon Humphrey back there and what's my boy name, Kyle Hamilton back there as well. So you know, it's think more so for me, it's more so that linebacker spot and the defensive line is where I'm looking at for Baltimore.
Okay. For me, for Baltimore, definitely always the play of Lamar Jackson. They go as far as he can go. But I think the evolution of Zay Flowers is going to be very important and ideal to this team as well, because he is their number one receiver, I believe. and he was doing certain things in certain games last season that you could tell was just like you could chalk that up to immaturity,
right? Right.
And just not being on an NFL field for that long.
Correct.
So like it's just certain cadences and certain like mannerisms, just things like that. And then also too, like you got Nelson Aguilar, you got Rashad Bateman. Like these are cats that can go get yardage and can make things easier for Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And then also too, like just seeing how Derrick Henry's gonna play with Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see like the type of option plays that they run. Like can they actually like misguided defense.
Right.
Excuse me, misguided defense. And just really make it tough because you got great players, as with you on that Ravens squad. You still got a great coach in Harbaugh. So like I expect them to be where they were last season.
Yeah,
that's what I expect.
Yeah,
but definitely that defense is cause for concern because of like their DC leaving, and they were one of the top defenses last year.
Yeah.
And so to see, like, I just hope that there isn't, like, this crazy drop.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they can maintain what they need to maintain. Or, like, what they brought from last season, they can maintain it this season.
Right. Yeah. No, same thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said. Cincinnati, I like a lot. Joe Burrow's back. Hopefully he's healthy with the new Slim Shady haircut. Jamar Chase, still looking for his money. So, hopefully that goes well. T. Higgins, he's on a franchise tag, so he's basically on a tryout for basically every other team in the league right now. So, I think the offense, as long as Joe Burrow's healthy, that offense can fly high.
Yeah.
We all know that. Defense is all right. Sheldon Rankins on the line. Trey Hendrickson. I like those guys too. Jalen Stone in the secondary, along with Jordan Battle in the secondary as well. So that Cincinnati team is going to be they're going to be something to mess with.
Most definitely.
The Browns, you have like the most questions of because you just want to see what Deshaun Watson is, how Nick Chubb is going to come back, what their receiving core is going to look like with David Njoku, Jerry Judy's on his team now, along with Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore. So they have a great wide receiving core. It's just a matter of what are they going to get out of there?
Can they figure it out?
Yeah, can they figure it out? What are they going to get out of Deshaun Watson? I also forgot they have James Winston as their second quarterback, too. The defense, we all know, they're anchored by Myles Garrett, who's going to be awesome. Dalvin Thompson as a defensive tackle. You got Devin Bush as your linebacker over there, along with Grant Delpit and Denzel Ward in the secondary. So another great team. And Steelers, we all know the questions. The quarterback questions right now. As of right now, it's Russell Wilson, but they are leaving the door open for Justin Fields. So Justin Fields really has to go out there in these preseason games.
That starting spot.
These preseason games. Mike Tomlin already said it. He basically, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he basically said, we don't measure your success off of what you do in a practice field. Anybody can do anything on a practice field. What can you actually do in an actual game? So he's giving him the keys, like, hey, you want to do good? All right. Well, the game is right there for you. So go on ahead and take it. The rest of the team is looking real good. Obviously you have your two-headed monsters and running backs, George Pickens, Van Jefferson, and Calvin Austin. The third as your wide receivers, Pat Freiermuth as your tight end, along with Darnell Washington, who I'm still big on. And the defense anchored by T.J. Watt. You have Patrick Queen now, Alex Highsmith, who I love a lot, Joey Porter Jr. and Minka Fitzpatrick back there, along with Dante Jackson. So, and Cameron Hayward finally came back. He finally signed his deal. So that Steelers team is looking real tough right now.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the biggest thing is just, like you said, their quarterback and their wide receiver positions, and just, we know Mike Tomlin doesn't finish with a losing season, but I think that's even more apparent and more like important now because you have two good quarterbacks and you have some good receivers and good tight end and a good defense.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, it's just imperative for them to not just regress, I think.
Right.
Because of these new guys that are coming in. But it's Mike Tomlin. I don't see that happening. I really don't.
No.
I really don't.
No.
He's going to have Russell Wilson looking like an MVP candidate again.
Again, yeah.
But I'll leave it at that.
Shoot, I think either one of them, he'll have them looking like
for
MVPs.
real.
But that's our episode for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed just as much as we did. Man, we got a lot done, and we're gonna keep continuing coming through with these previews. Hopefully soon we can get into some of the college previews as well. Probably gonna wait till the top 25 comes out, and that will probably go on from there. But till then, I'm your host Cam Silver.
I'm your co-host Kyle Silver,
and this is the Silver Voice.
Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cam Silver from the Silver Voice. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel and like our videos. Thank you for watching.